So for those of you that missed section 3.3 notes, we looked at a new formula called the cosine law. Two forms of the formula written in purple above. A squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times the cosine of a. This is the form of the cosine law in which you can use to calculate a missing side. Side being side a. Of course, because that's a squared, your last step is going to be the square root. The other form of the formula, cosine A, is equal to a squared minus b squared minus c squared over negative 2 times b times c, is to find a missing angle. But remember, because we are looking for an angle, our last step is going to be the inverse function of cosine of whatever this math works out to be. Okay, so just remember that that's going to be your last step, finding an angle. Now I'll quickly show you why we need the cosine law, because sine law and right angle trigonometry don't work. So we do not have a 90-degree angle triangle here, so we can't use SOHCAHTOA, we can't use Pythagorean theorem. We can't use sine law, because if we were to fill in the sine law formula, it would look something like this. So this is angle C, this would be side C, this is angle B, this would be side B. Our formula would look like this. Sine A, don't know what happened there, sine A over, actually A would be 50 degrees, 58, I'm going to substitute this in right away, over A is equal to sine B over 32 is equal to sine C over 40. So here you can see that we are missing this, we're missing this, and we're missing this. So we're missing something out of each of the ratios. And from all the sine law work that we've done, we should know that if we don't have a full set of ratios or a full fraction, then we can't use sine law at all. So sine law doesn't work. So we have this other one called the cosine law. And I'll show you how the cosine law. The cosine law works in two specific instances. One is if we have a triangle in which we know all three sides. If we know all three sides, we can use the cosine law and calculate for a missing angle. Or if we have a triangle in which we know two sides and the angle between the two sides, then we can use cosine law to calculate for a missing side. So that being said, over here on our triangle, because we already eliminated sine law, if we look at this, we have this angle 58, we have this side 40, we have this side 40, which are on either side of the angle that we have. So this tells us that we can use cosine law. And we would be able to calculate the side opposite to the angle that we have, and in this case it would be side CB or BC, which is actually the side that we need to calculate anyway. So because our triangle is labeled ABC already, I can very simply say, well, if that's angle A, this is side A, this would be angle C, this would be angle B, this would be BC, and this would be B. I go to my formula being a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2 times b times c times the cosine of a. Fill in my formula, 32 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 32 times 40 times the cosine of 58 degrees. Now, this calculation here gets a little bit tricky sometimes, so make sure that you're very diligent in the steps that you do on your calculator. If I start to expand to this, I get 1024 plus 1600 minus 1356.593316. And simplifying all of that out, I get 1267.406684. And remember, our last step, because this is a squared, is we take the square root of both sides. Giving us a is equal to 35.600655567, or 35.60, and in this case meters. So that's using cosine law to find a missing side. And I believe that example 2, which will be the next video, is cosine law trying to find a missing angle. So yep, it is.